The first blow is a masterpiece of betrayal. The metal pipe, cold and unforgiving, cracks against the side of my skull. The sound is a wet, percussive pop that seems to echo off the grimy brick walls of the alley. For a split second, there's no pain, just a profound, deafening silence. Then, the world erupts in a symphony of agony. I taste copper, thick and metallic, coating my tongue. My vision blurs, the flickering neon sign of the bar across the street smearing into a watercolor mess of pink and blue. I crumble to my knees on the cracked asphalt. My hands, which just hours ago were signing off on a multi-million-dollar acquisition, now press uselessly against the gushing wound on my head. Through the haze, I see him. Marcus, my partner. My mentor. The man I once thought of as a second father. He stands over me, the pipe held loosely in one hand, his expensive suit miraculously clean. His face, usually a mask of corporate charm, is twisted into a sneer of pure, undiluted contempt. "Should have kept your mouth shut, Elena," he says, his voice a low growl that barely carries over the sudden downpour. "You got greedy." Greedy? I wasn't greedy, I was smart. I found the holes in the books, the secret accounts, the money he and Victoria had been siphoning for years. I was going to expose them. I was going to take back my company, my father's company. Rain begins to fall harder, plastering my hair to my face, mixing with the blood that streams into my eyes. Each cold droplet feels like a tiny hammer against my skin. I try to push myself up, to say something, anything, but my limbs refuse to obey. A gurgling sound escapes my lips. It's a pathetic, weak noise, the sound of dying. Marcus takes a step back, melting into the shadows. And then she appears, stepping into the dim light cast from the alley's entrance. Victoria, his partner in crime and in life. Her face is a perfect portrait of detached satisfaction. She's wearing the red-soled Louboutins I saw her admiring last week. She'd said they were too extravagant, apparently not. She nudges my shoulder with the toe of her shoe, a casual, dismissive gesture, as if checking to see if a piece of garbage was worth kicking out of her way. "Is it done?" she asks Marcus, her voice as crisp and cold as the November air. "It's done," he confirms. "No one saw us." My world is shrinking, the edges vignetting to black. The sounds are fading, the rain turning into a distant hiss. But one thought burns through the encroaching darkness, a single, searing ember of defiance. It isn't fear, it isn't sadness, it's rage. A pure, white-hot rage that sears hotter than the cold spreading through my veins. It's a promise. They think they've won. They think they can just leave me here to die and walk into the boardroom tomorrow morning to announce my unfortunate resignation. They have it all planned. 18 hours. In 18 hours, they will stand before the board, our board, and formally steal my company, my legacy, everything I have ever worked for. They think they'll get away with it. My final breath rattles in my chest. It carries no fear, no plea for mercy. It carries a vow that transcends the physical world, a promise etched into the very fabric of my soul. I will not let them win. The last thing I see before the darkness swallows the alley whole is the flash of red on the sole of Victoria's shoe as she steps over my body, dismissing me like a piece of discarded trash on her way to claim my life's work. The darkness takes me, but it can't extinguish the fire. It only fuels it. I wake with a gasp, my body lurching upright. The scent of lavender and freshly brewed coffee fills my nose, not the stench of blood and wet garbage. My hands fly to my head, searching for the wound, for the sticky mat of dried blood. There's nothing, just my own smooth skin, my clean, silk pajama-clad shoulder. My heart hammers against my ribs like a trapped bird. I'm in my bed, my sun-drenched penthouse apartment overlooking the city. The digital clock on my nightstand glows with the time and date. It's 7 a.m., 3 days before the board meeting, 3 days before my murder. The air leaves my lungs in a shaky, disbelieving rush. It's impossible. A dream? A hallucination brought on by the final moments of brain activity? But the feeling of the pipe, the taste of blood, Victoria's mocking gaze, it was all too real. It was a memory of something that hasn't happened yet. Rebirth. A second chance. The universe, it seems, has a twisted sense of humor. and a flair for the dramatic. A cold, sharp clarity cuts through the confusion. I'm not the same Elena Chen who went to sleep last night, blissfully unaware of the vipers coiled in her boardroom. The woman who woke up this morning died in a filthy alley. The person sitting in this bed now is something else entirely. Something harder, colder. I am a ghost with a to-do list. I don't waste a second. I swing my legs out of bed, my movements precise and deliberate. There is no time for panic, no room for doubt, there is only the mission. My first call is to my lawyer, a shrewd, shark-like man named Arthur Vance. He answers on the second ring, his voice already alert and professional. "Arthur," I say, my tone devoid of its usual warmth. "I need you to do something for me. No questions asked, just execute." "Elena, you sound different. Is everything all right?" "Everything is crystal clear," I reply. "I'm activating the dead man's switch." There's a pause on the other end of the line. "The what?" "Elena, we've discussed this, but you never authorized the final setup. You said it was too aggressive. There is no dead man's switch to activate." "There is now," I say, walking to my closet and pulling out a simple, dark pantsuit. "I'm sending you a package via courier. It will contain a USB drive and a set of instructions. If I miss a check-in call, which we will schedule for every 12 hours, or if you hear that I have been in an accident, resigned, or otherwise been incapacitated, you are to release the contents of that drive to the SEC, the FBI, and every major news outlet on this planet. Do you understand?" "Elena, this is highly irregular. What's on this drive?" "My last will and testament, Arthur. Make it happen." I hang up before he can argue further. Next, I walk to the large steel safe hidden behind a minimalist painting in my study. My hands are steady as I key in the code. Inside, nestled among stock certificates and property deeds, is a small black USB drive. It's my insurance policy. The one I'd put together weeks ago when I first suspected Marcus of financial misconduct, but had hesitated to use. The hesitation died with me in that alley. The drive contains everything. Encrypted files detailing their embezzlement scheme, offshore accounts, wire transfers, a meticulous roadmap of their years-long betrayal. They thought they were so clever, but they got sloppy. They underestimated me. They didn't know I found it. Not yet. With the drive secured in the courier's pouch, I turn my attention to the day ahead. I have a company to save and 2 traitors to ruin. I dial Marcus's direct line. He picks up immediately, his voice oozing the false bonhomie that used to charm me. "Elena, good morning. Ready for the big week?" "Marcus, darling," I say, the endearment dripping with ice. "About our partnership. It's over." The silence that follows is exquisite. I can almost hear the gears in his head grinding, trying to process this sudden shift. "What? You can't be serious, Elena. We have a deal. The board meeting is Friday." "The board meeting is indeed on Friday," I say, a thin smile playing on my lips. "But the agenda has changed. You see, I've been reviewing our financials, and I found some discrepancies. Quite large ones, in fact." I don't know what you're talking about," he stammers, the first crack appearing in his composure. "Oh, I think you do. You and Victoria, consider this your official notice. You're both suspended, effective immediately. Security will be escorting you from the building. Don't bother cleaning out your desks. I'll have your personal effects mailed to you. Have a lovely day." I hang up, my heart beating a steady, powerful rhythm. This feels different now. The 18-hour countdown to the board meeting is no longer a timer on my execution. It's a clock ticking down to theirs. They left me for dead in a future that will never come to pass. Now, I'm going to make them wish they had. The Blackwood Industries building is a monument to chrome, glass, and ego. It's where Marcus ran his side of our merged company, a sterile kingdom he built with my father's money. Today, it's my observation deck. From the comfort of my own office, miles away, I watch him on a split-screen display connected to the building's security cameras. I'd had the system upgraded last year, complete with audio bugs in his office, a precaution I'd taken when my suspicions first began to stir. He'd laughed at my paranoia, calling it an unnecessary expense. Now it's the best money I've ever spent. He's not laughing anymore. He's pacing his office like a caged animal, his face pale, his movements jerky and frantic. He's on the phone, his voice a panicked hiss I can hear perfectly. She knows, Vic. She knows everything. Victoria's voice crackles back sharp and venomous. How? How is that possible? We were careful. We covered our tracks. I don't know how, but she does. She's frozen the joint accounts. All of them. She what? Victoria's voice shrieks. The transfer to the Cayman account, it was rejected. The funds are locked. I lean back in my chair, a slow, cold satisfaction spreading through me. I'd spent the morning on the phone with the banks, leveraging my position as majority shareholder and CEO to freeze every asset they had access to, every joint venture, every slush fund. I painted a grim picture of potential corporate malfeasance that needed immediate containment. The bankers, smelling risk, complied without hesitation. On the screen, Marcus slams his fist on his mahogany desk. She called it discrepancies. She was toying with me. Elena doesn't toy with people, Marcus. She dissects them. Victoria snaps. She's making a move. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. She's had this planned. She's right, of course, but she has no idea just how meticulously I've planned it. Or how I got the intel. They're working under the assumption that I'm the same Elena from yesterday. They can't fathom the person they're up against now. I watch as Marcus starts frantically typing on his computer, his movements betraying a desperate urgency. He's trying to move money, to salvage what he can. He's attempting to shift funds from a secondary domestic account to an offshore wallet. He's faster than I expected, more brazen. This wasn't just a contingency plan. This was their endgame. They'd been planning to bleed the company dry for months, long before they decided murder was the simplest solution to their Elena problem. A new email pings in my inbox. It's a notification from my security software, an alert, unauthorized access attempt on the main server. It's Victoria from her home computer. She's trying to wipe the data, to erase the evidence of their crimes. Cute. She doesn't know that I've already mirrored the entire server to a secure off-site location. The data she's trying to delete is nothing more than a copy. The original, the one that matters, is safely in my possession, and a copy of that copy is on its way to my lawyer. The dialogue from the bug in Marcus's office continues, a beautiful symphony of their unraveling. Elena's acting strange, Marcus, almost like she knows about Friday. Impossible, Victoria. We were careful. No one knows. Then why did she just freeze all joint accounts? Why suspend us? It makes no sense unless she knows what we were planning. She what? She knows, Marcus. I can feel it. She's coming for us. A chill runs down my spine, but it's not from fear. It's from the validation. They are scared. The sterile, air-conditioned atmosphere of their expensive offices can no longer mask the stench of their desperation. They built an empire on my father's legacy, and they were ready to kill me to keep it. They thought I was a lamb they could lead to slaughter. They're about to find out they've cornered a wolf. And I'm hungry. I minimize the security feed and pull up a new file on my screen. It's a dossier I had compiled on a private investigator, a discreet and highly effective woman I'd considered hiring a month ago. My past self had hesitated, worried about appearing too aggressive, too untrusting. My present self has no such qualms. I pick up the phone and dial her number. I have a job for you, I say when she answers. I need round-the-clock surveillance on two individuals, Marcus Blackwood and Victoria Ashford. I want to know where they go, who they talk to, what they eat for breakfast. I want to know every secret they have, and I need it to start an hour ago. They thought they could erase me, but I'm not just a ghost. I'm a poltergeist. And I'm about to start throwing things. The key to dismantling an enemy isn't brute force. It's finding the fracture points and applying just the right amount of pressure until the entire structure collapses in on itself. For 2 days, I've been a phantom, watching Marcus and Victoria through a web of cameras in the eyes of my private investigator. I've seen their panicked meetings in dimly lit bars, heard their whispered, frantic phone calls. They're scrambling, trying to plug the leaks in their sinking ship, completely unaware that I'm the one controlling the floodgates. They believe they are fighting me. The truth, I suspect, is far more delicious. They are fighting each other. Their greed is matched only by their paranoia. An alliance built on theft has no foundation, and I'm about to kick out the last support beam. The breakthrough comes late on the second night. My PI, a woman named Harding who communicates in clipped, efficient emails, sends me a new file. It's an audio recording. Source is a bug placed in Ashford's vehicle, the email reads. She thinks she's being clever, taking her most sensitive calls in the car. She's not. I click play. The audio is crystal clear. It's Victoria, speaking to someone I don't recognize, a man with a low, gravelly voice. The plan is still in motion, Victoria says, her voice tight with a strained confidence. Marcus is a liability. He's panicking. He's going to get us both caught. So what's the new play? The man asks. The new play is that Marcus takes the fall, all of it, she says, and the sheer coldness in her tone makes the hairs on my arm stand up. I've been recording his calls for the past month, every incriminating word, every panicked order to the accountants. When this all goes down, I'll have a neat little package to hand to the authorities, painting him as the sole architect of the entire scheme. He'll go to prison, and I will be the victim, the loyal partner who was manipulated and betrayed. My breath catches in my throat. I lean closer to the speaker, my mind racing. What about Chen? The man asks. What if she has evidence against you? A dry, humorless laugh crackles through the speaker. Elena is a problem that's about to be solved. Permanently. Marcus thinks it's his idea. He's so blinded by his own arrogance, so eager to prove he's still in control. He'll handle it Friday, just like we discussed. And when he's arrested for embezzlement, the police will find it highly convenient that the only other person who could implicate him has met with a tragic, fatal accident. It's perfect. He gets his hands dirty, takes the fall for the money, and I inherit an empire, clean and clear. I stop the recording. A slow, predatory smile spreads across my face. It's better than I could have ever imagined. This isn't just a simple case of two partners betraying a third. It's a triangle of deceit, a snake eating its own tail. Victoria wasn't just planning to embezzle from the company with Marcus. She was planning to frame him, get rid of me, and take everything for herself. Everything changes in that instant. My plan, which had been to expose them both simultaneously, suddenly seems crude, almost amateurish. I have been handed a weapon of surgical precision. Victoria's own treachery is the key. She thinks she's orchestrating a masterpiece of manipulation, but she's just written the script for her own downfall, and I'm going to direct the hell out of it. I adapt instantly. My strategy shifts from a frontal assault to a subtle, intricate dance of misdirection. I don't need to prove they were working together anymore. I just need to let Victoria's plan play out with one minor adjustment. I won't be the victim. Tomorrow, I was supposed to be dead in an alley. Now I have a new vision for my Friday. I will stand in a courtroom, a place of order and consequence, and I will watch Victoria Ashford, the architect of my demise, beg for mercy as her own evidence, her own perfectly curated recordings, convict her. I spend the next few hours in a flurry of activity. I contact Harding, my PI. I need you to pull the audio from the bug in Marcus Blackwood's office, specifically any calls he's made to Victoria in the last 24 hours. An hour later, I have the corresponding files. I listen to Marcus, panicked and angry, explicitly discussing the details of their embezzlement. His words a direct confirmation of everything Victoria has on her own recordings. He's digging his own grave, and she's handing him the shovel. I take Victoria's recording, the one where she details her plan to frame Marcus and murder me, and place it in a separate, encrypted folder. I title it Exhibit A. Then I take the new recordings of Marcus, the ones where he unwittingly corroborates his own guilt, and place them in a folder titled Exhibit B. Victoria thinks she's playing chess. She doesn't realize I've flipped the board and she's been in checkmate for days. She planned to use Marcus's words to convict him. I'm going to use her words to bury her. The reversal is so complete, so poetically just that I almost laugh out loud. They wanted to turn my company into their personal bank account. I'm going to turn their betrayal into my perfect weapon. The lobby of the FBI field office is an antiseptic world of beige walls and muted government efficiency. It smells of stale coffee and quiet authority. It's the last place anyone would expect to see Elena Chen, CEO of a billion-dollar tech firm, on a Thursday morning. That's precisely why I'm here. I walk to the front desk, my heels clicking softly on the linoleum floor. The agent on duty, a young man with a bored expression, looks up. Can I help you? I'm here to see Detective Sarah Rivers, I say, my voice calm and steady. My name is Elena Chen. Tell her it's regarding a conspiracy to commit murder, specifically mine. The agent's boredom evaporates. He stares at me, his mouth slightly agape, then fumbles for his phone. You said your murder? That's right, I say, allowing myself a small, tight smile. Tell her I have a recording. Minutes later, I'm being led into a small, windowless interview room. The table is scarred metal, the chairs are uncomfortable plastic. It's a room designed to make people feel small and vulnerable. It doesn't work on me. I've already died once this week. A sterile room holds no fear. Detective Sarah Rivers enters a moment later. She's in her late 40s with sharp, intelligent eyes that miss nothing and a no-nonsense air that I immediately respect. She closes the door behind her and appraises me, her expression a mixture of skepticism and professional curiosity. Miss Chen, she says, her voice even. My colleague at the front desk seems to be under the impression that you're here to report your own future murder. That's a new one for me. I don't waste time with pleasantries. I slide a small, encrypted USB drive across the metal table. It's a copy of Victoria's recording, my Exhibit A. This recording will prove a conspiracy, I say. But there's more, Detective. What kind of more, she asks, her eyes narrowing as she looks from the drive to my face. The kind that involves murder, I repeat. You're right, I'm standing right here, for now. The plan is for that to change tomorrow. She picks up the drive but doesn't move to plug it in yet. She's studying me, trying to decide if I'm a credible witness or a lunatic. Whose voice is on this recording? Victoria Ashford, my business partner. She's speaking with an as-yet unidentified accomplice. On it, she details her plan to have her other partner, Marcus Blackwood, murder me. She also explains her strategy to frame Marcus for a massive embezzlement scheme that they have been running for years, allowing her to take control of our company, Chen Blackwood Technologies. Detective Rivers leans forward, her skepticism now fully replaced by intense focus. That's a heavy accusation, Miss Chen. You're alleging your partners are not only stealing from your company, but are also planning to kill you. Why come to us now? Why not go to a private security firm? Because this is bigger than a simple case of corporate fraud and attempted murder, I say, dropping the second bombshell. Victoria has been laundering money, not just for herself, but for a third party. I've traced the offshore accounts. They lead back to the Kozlov family. The name hangs in the air between us. Detective Rivers' expression hardens. The Kozlovs were not just any criminal organization. They were Russian mobsters, infamous for their brutality and their reach. They didn't forgive mistakes, and they certainly didn't tolerate loose ends. The money Victoria and Marcus embezzled, I continue, connecting the dots for her. A portion of it belongs to the Kozlovs. I froze all the accounts this morning, all of them, including the ones Victoria was using to funnel their cash. It's only a matter of time before they realize their money is gone. And when they do, they won't be sending lawyers. They'll be sending men to collect. Victoria was supposed to be their money manager, their clean face in the corporate world. By freezing the accounts, I've made her a liability. A new timer has started, one far more dangerous than the boardroom clock. The 6-hour mark since the accounts were frozen passes while I'm still in the interview room. The Kozlovs will be looking for their money, and they'll be looking for the person responsible for its disappearance. Victoria Ashford just became the most endangered woman in the city, and she has no idea. Victoria thought killing me was the clean solution, I say, my voice dropping to an icy whisper. She has no idea that the real threat isn't me. It's the people she's been in bed with. She was going to have me killed tomorrow. Now there's a very good chance the Kozlovs will get to her first. Detective Rivers finally picks up the USB drive and stands. Wait here, Miss Chen. Her voice is grim. We need to get this authenticated. If what you're saying is true, we need to move. Now. She walks out of the room, leaving me alone with the hum of the fluorescent lights. The chess game has escalated. I came here to set a trap for a viper. I've just discovered she's been sharing her nest with dragons, and I've just lit a match. The air in the federal courthouse is thick with the electricity of a gathering storm. It's a maelstrom of flashing cameras, hushed reporter commentary, and the palpable tension of a high-stakes drama reaching its crescendo. This isn't just a preliminary hearing, it's a public execution of an empire, and everyone wants a front row seat. I sit in the gallery, a silent observer in a simple gray dress, blending into the background. My anonymity is my shield. No one here knows my connection to the spectacle about to unfold, save for Detective Rivers and a handful of federal agents. To the world, I am just another face in the crowd, watching the mighty fall. Then they are let in. Marcus Blackwood and Victoria Ashford, not in their customary designer suits and power dresses, but in drab, ill-fitting jumpsuits, their wrists bound by cold, hard steel. The transformation is staggering. Marcus, once the epitome of corporate swagger, looks broken. His face is ashen, his shoulders slumped in defeat. He shuffles forward, his eyes darting around the room, finally landing on Victoria with a look of pure, unadulterated hatred. Victoria, however, is a different story. Even in shackles, she radiates an aura of defiant fury. Her hair is disheveled, her makeup smeared, but her eyes burn with a cold fire. She scans the room, her gaze sweeping past me without a flicker of recognition, searching for a way out, a weakness to exploit. She still thinks she can talk her way out of this. She still thinks she's the smartest person in the room. The charges are read, a litany of their sins: wire fraud, embezzlement, money laundering, conspiracy. With each word from the prosecutor, another stone is laid on the foundation of their prison walls. Victoria's lawyer, a high-priced shark who looks increasingly out of his depth, stands to address the court. Your Honor, my client, Miss Ashford, is a victim in this sordid affair. She was coerced, manipulated by Mr. Blackwood, who was the true mastermind behind this scheme. The judge, a formidable man named Harrison with a gaze that could cut glass, looks down from his bench. Coerced? Do you have any evidence to support this claim, counsel? We do, Your Honor, the lawyer says with a flourish. He turns to Victoria, who nods eagerly. Your Honor, I was coerced! Victoria's voice is shrill, laced with a practiced desperation. She points a trembling, cuffed hand at Marcus. He forced me. Marcus forced me to do all of it. I have proof. Judge Harrison raises an eyebrow. Proof? What kind of proof, Miss Ashford? A recording, she exclaims, a triumphant glint in her eyes. I recorded him. He admitted to everything. A low murmur ripples through the courtroom. This is the moment she's been waiting for, the ace up her sleeve. She's about to sacrifice Marcus to save herself. The prosecutor steps forward, a calm, dangerous smile on her face. Your Honor, the prosecution is also in possession of a recording provided by Miss Ashford. We had it authenticated this morning. We would be happy to play it for the court. Victoria's lawyer looks confused, but Victoria herself is beaming. This is it. Her gambit is working. The prosecutor nods to an agent, and a moment later, Victoria's voice fills the courtroom, crisp and clear from the high-quality speakers. Marcus is a liability. He's panicking. The new play is that Marcus takes the fall, all of it. The color drains from Victoria's face. Her triumphant smile collapses into a mask of horror. This isn't the recording she was thinking of. This isn't Marcus incriminating himself. This is her, detailing her own plot. The recording continues, relentless. When he's arrested for embezzlement, the police will find it highly convenient that the only other person who could implicate him has met with a tragic, fatal accident. It's perfect. A collective gasp fills the room. Marcus, who had been staring at the floor, whips his head up, his eyes wide with shocked comprehension. He wasn't just being betrayed. He was being set up for my murder. That's not... I never... Victoria stammers, her voice cracking as she jumps to her feet. That's been doctored. That's not the recording I gave you. The prosecutor turns to her, her expression one of cold pity. Miss Ashford, you mean this recording where you planned his murder, along with Miss Chen's? Before Victoria can respond, the prosecutor turns back to the judge. Your Honor, the conspiracy to murder Elena Chen was not hypothetical. It was scheduled for yesterday. Fortunately, Miss Chen came to the FBI before the attempt could be made. From my seat, I watch the beautiful, exquisite chaos unfold. Victoria is screaming, a wild, cornered animal, accusing her own lawyer of betrayal. Marcus is staring at her, his face a canvas of disbelief and rage. Then comes the final act. Detective Rivers walks to the evidence table. With a deliberate, almost theatrical movement, she places a clear plastic bag on the table. Inside is a metal pipe, the same pipe, the one that cracked my skull in a future that never was. Its presence on the table is a silent, damning testament to the truth. A satisfying clang echoes through the room as she lays it down. It's the sound of a closing door, of a story coming full circle. Justice, I think to myself, tastes infinitely sweeter than revenge. But as the marshals move to restrain the now hysterical Victoria, my eyes drift towards the courthouse doors. There's a loose thread, a big one. The Kozlov family is still out there. They believe Victoria and Marcus have their money, and the FBI believes that I, Elena Chen, am the key to finding it. The justice I've orchestrated for my partners has inadvertently painted a target on my back. My ghost may have won the battle, but the war for my life has only just begun. The heavy oak doors of the courthouse swing shut behind me, muffling the sounds of chaos I've left in my wake. The cool, crisp air is a welcome relief, a clean slate after the suffocating drama inside. For a moment, I allow myself to feel a flicker of triumph. I did it. I watched them crash and burn, brought down by their own greed and hubris. But the moment is fleeting. As my eyes adjust to the afternoon light, I see him, leaning against a black sedan parked at the curb, as if he's been waiting for me all along. He's handsome, in a severe, tailored way, his silver hair impeccably styled, a stark contrast to his cold, dark eyes. He pushes himself off the car and offers a smile that doesn't reach them. Dmitry Kozlov, my blood runs cold. The FBI has his picture in their files, but it does him no justice. The photograph lacks the sheer predatory stillness he exudes in person. "Miss Chen," he says, his voice smooth, with only a trace of a Russian accent. It's the voice of a man accustomed to getting what he wants. A most impressive performance, truly. I don't flinch. I don't show the fear that's clawing at the inside of my throat. I meet his gaze, my expression a carefully constructed mask of indifference. "I don't know who you are." He chuckles, a low, rumbling sound. "Oh, I think you do. You are a very smart woman. Too smart, perhaps. You have caused me a significant inconvenience. Victoria Ashford was a careless, ambitious fool. But she was my fool, and you have cost me a great deal of money." "That sounds like a problem you have with her, not me," I reply, my voice steady. "The money is gone," he says, taking a step closer. The scent of expensive cologne and something dangerous, like ozone before a lightning strike, surrounds him. "The accounts are frozen, seized by your government. Victoria is indisposed, as is her partner. That leaves you, the one who started it all, the one who knows where all the pieces are." My carefully constructed world, my victory, suddenly feels fragile, like a house of cards. I have the FBI on my side, but they are a bureaucracy. Dmitry Kozlov is a force of nature. "My government thanks you for the information that led them to those accounts," I say, bluffing. "They'll be in touch." His smile widens, becoming something sharp and cruel. "I have no doubt, but you and I, Miss Chen, we will have our own conversation. Very soon." He gives me a slight, almost courtly nod, then turns and slides into the back of the sedan. The car pulls away from the curb, silent and sleek, disappearing into the city traffic. I stand there on the courthouse steps, my heart hammering against my ribs. I've traded one set of enemies for another, far more lethal one. 6 months later, I'm watching a screen. Not a security feed, but a satellite link to a parole hearing. I'm in a small, nondescript apartment, thousands of miles away, with a new name, a new face, and a life that is not my own, witness protection. On the screen, Marcus Blackwood, thinner, grayer, and utterly defeated, pleads his case. He talks about remorse, about being led astray, about wanting a second chance. The parole board is unmoved. His plea is denied. 25 years. He got off light. Victoria didn't. Life without parole. Her recordings, her meticulous planning, her sheer, unadulterated malice had buried her so deep she'd never see the light of day again. The Kozlov family, deprived of their revenge on her, were not pleased, but their displeasure became the FBI's problem. My testimony, provided from the safety of my new identity, helped launch a federal task force dedicated to dismantling their entire operation. Last I heard, Dmitri was a wanted fugitive. Sometimes I wonder about the woman who died in that alley. She was strong, smart, but she was also naive. She believed in second chances, in the inherent goodness of people she trusted. She would have been horrified by the lengths I went to, the cold, calculating precision of my revenge. But she's gone. I am what's left. A ghost who got the last laugh. They left me bleeding. They thought they had silenced me. But all they did was unleash something they could never hope to control. Revenge served cold doesn't just taste like justice. It tastes like survival. And every day I wake up breathing is another sip, breathing.